When I saw the new Zimone all questioning card, I thought, that's interesting. It only reminds you of the prime numbers up to 31. And I assume it does that because when the designers were designing the card, they only thought that you'd only ever have 31 lands at any one time. But we can have way more lands than that. And I don't mean just by increasing the land count, because there are three cards in Magic the Gathering that specifically create land tokens. They are Awake in the Woods, Jyoti Moog Ancient, and Stuff of Titania. And they're the only ones that specifically create land tokens, so I decided I'd make a deck around them. And along with these three cards, Doppelgang can create copies of the lands, and as long as you already have some of the tokens out, cards like For the Common Good and Aggressive Biomancy can help you get more tokens. Then, to make sure you have a prime number of lands, I've also included cards like Obora Envoy and Soramaru First to Dream to return the lands to your hand, but also Claws of Gix to sacrifice the lands if you need to. Also in the deck is Coma Cosmos Serpent and Maskwood Nexus, so that in the case that you have them both out, you can sacrifice your lands to Coma to either protect Coma or tap your opponent's creatures. Of course, since the deck cares about having a lot of lands, there are a lot of cards allowing us to play extra lands each turn, or to search our library for lands, and also Patron of the Moon to put lands from our hand onto the battlefield if we bounce them back earlier. There are also a couple cards that increase our mana output, like the infamous Nyxbloom Ancient, since the main ways we can get land tokens is through large X spells, so lots of mana is a good way to make sure that we hit the exact prime number we need. Finally, in order to win, I decided to go for a massive unblockable fractal, like the one that Zimone herself creates, but in case she gets removed, there's a copy of Paradox Zone in there to create more tokens. And to get the required massive damage and being unblockable, there's Dika, Fractal Theorist, to make the tokens unblockable for a cheap price, and Blanchwood Armor just in case we need a bit more damage. And of course, because it's a commander deck, there's a handful of removal spells, counter spells, and tutors to help the deck in a multiplayer scenario be more consistent.